Hey guys, hey besties, welcome to my now existing channel. Based off the title of today's video, I'm gonna be doing a book tag. I've been in a book slump. It's not great because I need to read. I'm actually going to be joining a Bible competition for my church camp where we read the book of Matthew. Kind of want to fast from reading romance books. They be getting too spicy for me and this mind needs to clear up and focus. That's how come I haven't been doing a lot of TBR updates because my whole schedule, my whole routine is messed up. I'm going to be doing 20 questions posted by Angel Reads. What are your favorite genres to read? Romance, fantasy, and dystopian. I also like historical fiction as well. I love imagination. I love problem solving. I love love. A lot of these genres check off the boxes on what I look for. All those genres that I've mentioned, I use it to escape from real life. And so when I read real books that has to do with finance, budgeting, and all these psychological books, I'm like, this is kind of stressing me out, giving me anxiety, telling me to focus on real life, to put myself in the bigger picture. And I just use books to cope with my mental health. I promise that I also am living life, guys, okay? May seem like I'm not because I'm too busy in these books, but I'm managing it well, I think. Do you read more relatively popular books or more underrated books? I feel like I'm a mix of both. I read popular books and underrated. Popular books are those from BookTok, Booktube, Bookstagram, and I think I have downloaded on my Kindle app a lot of popular books. Physical books, I've never really had any popular ones because they'd be pricey, but I'm starting to get into physical books more, so I do have a little bit of that. But then I'm also down to just reading any book that catches my attention. So 100% I have read underrated books. Like for example, I read this one dystopian book that I'm going to show you. It's called Tiger's Eye. It's by Kate Spiller. I just found it at a thrift bookstore. I read the back. It was super interesting and I actually loved it. It was a mix of Divergent and Hunger Games. It definitely sparked some images and some nostalgia, so I really enjoyed this book and I definitely recommend it. Young adolescents could also read this. It has a little love triangle, but nothing happens. I don't want to spoil. It's so hard. That's how come I keep repeating the same things because I'm trying not to spoil for you guys. I would say a popular book that I have on my bookshelf is Love and Other Words. Christina Lauren. I bought because of BookTok. From what author have you read the most books from? I'd say it's a mix between Abby Jimenez and Francine Rivers. I actually own 2 Abby Jimenez physical books and 1 digital book. I own the Happily Ever After playlist that I'm 35% into right here. I use the Kindle app on my phone because I don't have a Kindle yet. Let me know if I should invest in one. What do you guys think? And as for physical, Abby Jimenez, yours truly. And this is the first Abby Jimenez book that I read, and I actually have a YouTube video where I talk about my thoughts, so I'll link it down below if you guys want to see that. Yours truly is the third one that I bought, but I haven't read yet. The thing about Abby Jimenez books is they're slow burns. I was skimming through this and I did see a little bit of spiciness, and it's so funny because on TikTok I commented down below in someone's video how Abby Jimenez does have spice in her books, and then they were like, nah, it kind of like dies. It's explicit. It has a lot of like smut. I skipped those pages, obviously. In every book there's a topic to discuss, a topic to go through. It will take you in a psychological journey, and that's how come I really loved and started reading Abby Jimenez books, because of that, not because of any other reason. You really get to understand each character on their own individually and their story. Another reason why I love Abby Jimenez books is because of the animals. Look, there's a dog in here and there's a little goat. I love dogs. I'm a dog mom. The Happily Ever After has a dog too, and they meet because of a dog. As for Francine Rivers, the 2 books that I've read of hers are Redeeming Love and The Masterpiece. There were other ones that I started to, like When the Shofar Blew, I think that's the book. I guess another author that I have that makes Christian books too. This one, God Will Carry You Through by Max Lucado. It's little testimonies about how God brought these people through tough situations. I read it on the plane. Then I was gifted by my pastor this Max Lucado book, which is the same author, and it is God Is With You Every Day. So every day there's a devotional for you to read, and I love it. What audience, YA, middle grade, adult, etc. do you gravitate towards the most? I gravitate towards young adults and adults, not really middle school, although I feel like a lot of middle schoolers read YA a lot. Middle school specifically, I know that genre, and it's kind of like Diary of a Wimpy Kid and stuff like that, and I don't really read that. Or per se, do they read The Hunger Games in middle school? I don't know, but they read Harry Potter and stuff, right? And then there's another middle school book that's super famous, which is, what's that thing called? And it's a movie, The Lightning Thief. I think I gravitate towards more young adults because it's so cute. Every time I see young adult romance, I'm like, aww. They're just discovering themselves in their life. But adult for sure is my top one. I explained it in another video. Young adult books mostly focus on the characters, the protagonists, insecurities, and the things that they're going through. While adult books mostly deal with problems outside of their control. That's what I think, and that's what I've seen repeatedly happen. Because for example, take The Summer I Turned Pretty. Talks about Belly. She talks about her life and how she compares herself to others and how she can't have this guy because of her looks. But then one day, one summer, she turns pretty and she changes her mindset and boom, romance happens, feelings are discovered. And then take a book like Abby Jimenez, where rich and poor, their worlds cannot meet, but they are in love. So they try to figure out their lives, their real lives, let me say, because one's a doctor, one's a farmer, and it's like, what's gonna happen? How in the world are you gonna make that work? Most relatable character. Ooh, I would say, in a way, I relate to Macy from Love in Other Words. While I was reading this, I actually saw myself a lot in Macy because she's kind of like an open book. She can't help but share her feelings. And what I love about Elliot is how he is so open and vulnerable to her too. Of course, he keeps certain things away from her because of her innocence. I love how platonic they are in the beginning and they're best friends before anything, and how they share with each other a lot of things. I kind of want that in real life too. I'm kind of always like that. I like sharing a lot of details about my life with people that I trust only. I guess I do be too TMI sometimes, but it's just so beautiful to have deep conversations with people, and Macy loves that. And that's kind of like her relationship with Elliot. They read books, they love words, and they love conversations. So yeah, young Macy definitely reminded me of me. Have you always loved reading? I never knew I loved books. Let's say it like that. I've always read books. I just didn't think I read more than my usual age group. When I was in high school, I loved reading a lot. I would read on my phone mostly, so I wouldn't pop up with a physical book. During my free time, my lunch periods, I would read. Sometimes I would bring physical books after tests to read. I never thought of it as anything and I also had friends who loved to read. But then I go home and my sister's like, you really love to read, huh? I would read at home too, and I would geek out. I love reading the Bible too and studying it. And so my sister would be like, oh my gosh, you know a lot from the Bible. And I'm like, I don't know, I just take notes and stuff. And it's kind of hard for her to really get into reading. She says, I'm an average reader, I guess I would say. What's a book you feel like was written for you? Personally, this is a book I feel like was written for me, and it's called To Create by Jordan Rayner. I've started reading it a little bit. I've also heard a lot of people talk about it, but so far I'm reading it and I'm like, I'm a media communications major, and that major is never really taken seriously. So sometimes I overthink about the decision that I made, and I just realized I really love everything that's inside that major. How can I use this major to glorify the Lord? That's what I was asked. How can this major be of use? Because I feel like everyone else are doctors, everyone else is doing this traditional jobs, which I love and respect. I feel like my major is kind of looked down upon in churches, and so reading this book has made me feel so special and so safe. So if you're a filmmaker, if you're an artistic person, this book is for you. First or third person? Without a doubt, first person. I mentioned how All I Want for Christmas by Maggie Knox was written in third person view, and it was a pain to read because I wish I would have been behind the thoughts of each and every character instead of being told what they do and what they say. It just doesn't give me that intimacy feeling, and it doesn't really help me connect with them. You can't always get what you want, right? Are you a mood reader or a TBR reader? A mood reader for sure. And that's how come I always have books stacked because I know when I'm buying a book, all right, I'm gonna need this for later, or I need this right now, and then I'll leave it in the bookshelf. I'll do end up getting through them, okay, but not like in order, not in a routine. So I'm 100% a mood reader. Series or standalones? I haven't really read enough series. I really want to get into it. I want to buy The Cruel Prince and the Selection book series, I believe, but for now I do standalones. Book series take lots of time and I don't really have enough time to read. Do you annotate your books? Yes. Some of them. I mostly only annotate my Christian books. So for example, I have this, The Love Stories of the Bible Speak by Shannon Bream. A lot of inspirational real life book subjects I do annotate because that's something I'm like, I need to learn from. It's nothing too special though. Just basically highlighting my favorite sentences. Also, I don't really like hard book covers, but I really wanted this book, so it's kind of annoying. It slips too much, and then when I take it off, you can't even see the title. Ugh, it bothers me so much. Paperback for sure. Long or short books? I'm in the middle. I enjoy a short book, but I feel like it never has enough information for me to be satisfied. I'd say long book. It has lots of information. It'll take longer to read, but it will keep me excited and prolonged for that book. If it's short, I enjoy it for a plane ride, something like that. But if it's long, I enjoy it for at home and for just relaxation. Favorite bookish tropes? Second chance romances, friends to lovers, and arranged marriage, which is so strange, but yeah. I also like secret identity too. I think that's cool. Stuck together, soulmates, fake relationships. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I mostly only hear trope titles for love books. Yeah, which I already mentioned. Favorite book to TV show / film adaptation? Divergent. So it's Divergent, Insurgent, and Allegiant. Do you DNF, which means do not finish books? That's a tough question because before I read a book, I kind of do hard research. There was an instance where I read the description, I loved it, and took it home, but then kind of researched the reviews and everything like that. It touched on a subject that was different from my religion. Instead of reading it or even starting it, I just gave it away. I do have a lot of books that I started, did not finish reading yet, but I will get to finish reading it because I never want to leave a book unfinished. I just hadn't had a chance to finish reading them, but when I do, I will finish. What's a book you wish you had a sequel to? I loved it so much. It could honestly be a movie adaptation. It could be more. Please, Kate Speller, if you're seeing this, we need a part 2. Favorite fictional place / setting? Whenever there's summer in a book, I love the description of it. I enjoy a place based off of the season. There's Heartbones by Colleen Hoover that I really enjoyed, and it was a beach read. Fantastic. All I Want for Christmas. I love when there's Christmas in books. I love when it talks about the snow, the types of activities that they do during the winter. Ebooks, audiobooks, or physical books. All 3 of them. But I do love ebooks more. I can literally read in a comfortable position. I don't even know what to do with my hands when I be reading physical books. What's your preferred page length for a book? 300 to 400. Tag your friends. So I don't really have any book friends right now, but I do have a cousin who loves to read books too. Haley G, do a book tag video because I would love to know your book recommendations. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you like it, and if you want to see more videos like this. Bye.